Today's lesson is over reading the HR diagram. The objective is to introduce the learner to the diagram and explain how the diagram works. HR stands for the Hertzsprung-Russell, and the diagram is a chart that's going to show the stars based on their spectral class, their absolute magnitude and temperature. This is just one example of an HR diagram, and on it you'll see several stars that have been plotted. Our sun is plotted right here with Betelgeuse, which is part of the Orion constellation, plotted up with the supergiants. Along the top axis of the chart is where you will find the temperature. It ranges from about 40,000 Kelvin to 3,000 Kelvin. The bottom part of the chart is where you'll see the spectral classes, O, B, A, F, G, K, and M. And these are looking at the spectral lines and the bands of the star. Each one of these is also broken down further into 1, 2, 3, 4. So for example, our star, the sun, which is in this area here, is a G2 star. Along the left axis is where you're going to find the luminosity. And the luminosity is the total amount of energy emitted by a star. On the right hand side is where you're going to find the brightness, the absolute magnitude. And this is where we look at the star's brightness at a standard distance of 10 parsecs. All stars start out the same way. They start out in the stellar nebula, which is just your clouds of gas and dust that will start to be pulled in by some gravity and pull the star together. Depending on how much is pulled in, how much of that gas and dust are pulled in, will decide where it will land on this main sequence. The main sequence runs from the top left to the bottom right, and it's a curved line that goes through the middle of your diagram. Our sun again is right about here. Your more massive stars tend to fall a little bit higher and more of the blue side of the spectrum. After the main sequence, stars then go into the red giant and supergiant phase. During this, the hydrogen core is gone. It's now fusing helium. It begins to expand and contract and starts to fuse the carbon. On this diagram, your giants would be found right here, and your supergiants just above that. After the giant phase, stars then become what's called a white dwarf. These are much smaller than your normal stars. The more mass the dwarf continues to take in, the actual more it begins to shrink. It's no longer burning any fuel. It no longer has any more fuel to burn. It's actually just using heat that it's had from its past. It will eventually use up all this heat. Will it become a black dwarf and eventually end its life? And that is how you read the HR diagram.